Good afternoon, and welcome to the Office of the Supervisor, casting of the lots. With me present today, I have the St. Thomas Deputy Supervisor, Ms. Kiva May Douglas, the Senior Election Assistant, Ms. Miller Gritos Vincent in the St. Thomas District. On St. Croix, I have Acting Deputy Supervisor, Terrell Alexandre, Senior Election Assistant, Ms. Hewlett Todman Hodge, and Election Assistant, Ms. Mary Felix. For the casting of lots today, we're going to start with the territorial positions, so we do not have to go between districts back and forth. Again, we're going to start with the state chair, the national committee woman, the territorial committee at large. I will now turn it over to Mr. Terrell, acting deputy supervisor.
Run through or live?
We're live. You can get it.
Good evening. The first, as Ms. Fox stated, we're going to start with state chair. The candidates are Cecil R. Benjamin, Glenn Smith,
Number one. Number one.
number one for Cecil Benjamin. So Glenn Smith will be number two. Next race is a national committee women, and it's going to be Donna Christensen and Carol Burke.
Are you going to be covering this much ground, or are you speaking directly in front of the box?
Oh, probably because I need to get. Number two.
Two for Donna Christensen, so that means Carol Burke will be number one. Territorial Committee at large will only be pulling over here for Ophelia Nemi Williams Jackson.
Number two.
Now we'll transition over to the St. Thomas St. John District.
You understand why, right? Oh, I'll see if I can. 1 minute. Good evening. We're going to continue with the contest for Territorial Committee at Large. The next aspirant would be Rudolph Anthony Green. And we're showing that he has the number 4. Rudolph Anthony Green, number 4. Okay, so we're going to close the box and we're going to continue pulling for the other aspirants in that category. What number was Miss Williams? And so we pulled number 2, and we understand that aspirant Ophelia Nemi Williams Jackson on St. Croix has that number. So we're going to take that out and we're going to pull again. Spencer. Risa E.S. Richards, she is number 1. Risa E.S. Richards, number 1. Our next aspirant would be Barbara A. Peterson. Again, we're pulling for the contest of Territorial Committee at Large. Barbara Peterson is number 5. Barbara A. Peterson, number 5. And the last aspirant in the Territorial Committee at Large is going to be Kevin A. Rodriguez. And the remaining number for that contest is number 3. Number 3. We're going to continue with our next contest for this evening's casting of the lots. We're going to move right into the Legislature of the Virgin Islands for the St. Thomas St. John District. We'll get those numbers and we'll place them into the ballot box. Okay, continuing with the contest for Legislature of the Virgin Islands, St. Thomas, St. John District. We've placed all of the numbers in the ballot box. We're just going to give it a little shake and then we'll begin polling. The first aspirant in order where they filed would be Stedman Hodge Jr. And he has the number 9. Stedman Hodge Jr., number 9. We're now pulling for the next aspirant, Shirley M. Sadler. She has the number 10, Shirley Sadler. I'm going to give it a little shake. The next aspirant is going to be Adhere Bobby Thomas. Adhere Bobby Thomas, number 1. Number 1 for Adhere Bobby Thomas. The next aspirant is going to be Jonathan P. Tucker, Jr. Jonathan P. Tucker, Jr., number 5. Number 5. Lawrence Larry Bachelta. Number 11. Number 11, Lawrence Larry Bachelta. The next aspirant is going to be Milton E. Potter. Milton E. Potter. Number 3, Milton E. Potter, number 3. Up next is Donna Fred Gregory. Donna Fred Gregory. Donna Fred Gregory, number 4. Number 4. Just gonna give a little shake and mix things up a bit. Patrick Simeon Sproul. Patrick Simeon Sproul, number 8. Number 8. The next aspirant is going to be Marvin Blyden. Marvin Blyden. Marvin Blyden, number 7. Number 7 for Marvin Blyden. Gene A. Ford. Gene A. Ford. He has number 2. Number 2, Gene A. Ford. And the last aspirant for that contest, the contest is the Legislature of the Virgin Islands, is Carla Joseph. And this is the last number for that contest, and she is number 6. Carla Joseph, number 6. And so for those of you at home viewing, we just completed the contest for Legislature of the Virgin Islands. We had 11 aspirants for that contest. And we just want to show you that the ballot box is now empty. And we're going to be moving right into our next contest, which is going to be Board of Education. Give us just a minute and we'll get those numbers ready. Moving right along, we're now pulling for the contest of Board of Education. The first aspirant is Era C. Lockhart. Number 4. Era C. Lockhart, number 4. Kaiser A. Colwood. Kaiser A. Colwood. Number 3. Kaiser A. Colwood, number 3. Up next is Judith W. Edwin. Judith W. Edwin. And she has number 1. Judith Edwin, number 1. And so the last person in that contest is Nandi Seku, and she has the number 2. Nandi Seku, the number 2. Moving right along, it's the next contest for Territorial Committee District. We want everyone at home viewing to see that the ballot box is empty, and we'll get ready to fill it with the numbers for that contest. So we're ready now to draw for the contest of Territorial Committee District. The first number is number 6, and that number goes to Ivan Williams, number 6. Roger B. Minkoff, Roger B. Minkoff, number 3, number 3. Sandra Thomas Mason, Sandra Thomas Mason. She has the number 2, number 2. Next up is Stevelyn Paris, Stevelyn Paris. Number 4, number 4, Stevelyn Paris, number 4. Up next is Doris V. Bedminster, Doris V. Bedminster. She has number 8, number 8. Risa E.S. Richards. Again, we're pulling the lots for those aspirants for the Territorial Committee District. Risa E.S. Richards, number 7, number 7. Up next is Deshawn A. Smith, Deshawn A. Smith. He has number 1, number 1. And the last aspirant in that contest is Kayi N. Sam. Kayi N. Sam, and she has number 5. And the final contest that we're going to be moving into for this evening is that of district chair, and we have 2 aspirants in that contest. Again, for those of you at home viewing, the ballot box is empty, and we're going to place the numbers in for district chair. So this is an easy contest because it's only 2 people. So the first aspirant is Edgar Baker Phillips, and he has number 2. Edgar Baker Phillips, number 2. And so naturally, out of 2 people, the next number will go to aspirant Randolph N. Bennett, and he is number 1, number 1. I want to thank my senior elections assistant, Ms. Milagritos Venzen, for being here with me this evening. We want to thank WTJX for making this possible. Thank you so much for tuning in. You'll be able to visit our website where you can have a full review of what happened here this evening, and the numbers, all of the information from this evening's casting of the lot will be made public to the media shortly. Thank you.
Good evening and welcome back to the beautiful St. Croix district. We're going to transition into the Legislature of the Virgin Islands. As you can see, our box is empty. And Ms. Felix. The candidates that we have running, the first person up is Kurt BLA, followed by Novell E. Francis Jr., followed by Oakland Benta, Allison L. Digazon, Kenneth L. Gittins, Genevieve Whitaker, Javon E. James, Andrew John, and Troy C. Williams. So first person would be Kurt VLA. Kurt VLA will be number one. Again, Kurt VLA will be number one. Next, Novell E. Francis Jr. Number 7 for Novell E. Francis Jr. 7, Novell E. Francis Jr. Next up, Oakland Benta. Number 9, Oakland Benta. 9 for Oakland Benta. Sorry, I'm in. Allison Digazon was our next candidate, so she'll be number 3. 3 for Allison Digazon. Next up, we have Kenneth L. Gittins.
Number 5.
5 for Kenneth L. Gittins. Genevieve Whitaker. 6 for Genevieve Whitaker. 6, Genevieve Whitaker. Number 2 for Javon E. James. 2 for Javon E. James. Number 8 for Andrew John. 8 for Andrew John. So Troy C. Williams will get the number 4. Again, Troy C. Williams will be number 4. Our next contest will be the Board of Education. And the candidates who are running are Shauna Richards, Imani Heath, Emanuela Perez Casias. Again, the candidates are Shauna Richards, Imani Heath, Emanuela Perez Casias. First up, we have Shauna Richards.
Number 3.
3 for Shauna Richards. Next is Imani Heath.
Number 1.
1 for Imani Heath. So Emanuela Perez Casias will be number 2. Again, Emanuela Perez Casias will be number 2. Our next race will be the Territorial Committee District. The candidates are Florine M. Odain Hassel, Ophelia Nemi Williams Jackson, Sonia Boyce, Elizabeth Centeno, Jeanette K. Guzman, Ashley DeVoe Scotland, Peter Abrahams, and Carolyn Burke. First up, we have Florine Odain Hassel.
Number 7.
Number 7 for Florine M. Odain Hassel. Next up, we have Ophelia Nemi Williams Jackson.
Number 5.
Number 5 for Ophelia Nemi Williams Jackson. 5 for Ophelia Williams Jackson. Next, we have Sonia Boyce.
Number 6.
6 for Sonia Boyce. 6 for Sonia Boyce. Next, we have Elizabeth Centeno.
Number 8.
8 for Elizabeth Centeno. 8 for Elizabeth Centeno. Next, we have Jeanette K. Guzman.
Number 3.
Number 3 for Jeanette K. Guzman. Next, we have Ashley DeVoe Scotland.
Number 2.
Number 2 for Ashley DeVoe Scotland. Next, we have Peter Abrahams.
Number 1.
1 for Peter Abraham. Next, our next candidate will be Carol Burke, and she will be Carolyn Burke. Carolyn Burke would be number 4. That would be it for the Territorial Committee District. Thank you very much for listening. We'd like to thank the staff who's present, Ms. Yulette Hodge, our senior election assistant, Ms. Marie Felix, our election assistant, our technician from BIT, Ms. Dania Billin, Ms. Caroline Fox, supervisor of elections. We'd also like to thank WTJX for providing this service for us. As Ms. Douglas mentioned earlier, it will be made available shortly. We'll send it out to the media, and it'll be on our Facebook page and our website, which is vivote.gov. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your evening.